Hey guys, it's Talien back with more I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. I guess let's get right back into it. We've got a war happening now, I guess. It's a thing. Hello Otis, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I guess we have just a couple more months before the next glow season, and I guess this one is gonna be interesting. Um, So I think the plan was to do 2 more stat boosts and then rest before glow. Yeah. Oh boy. Things are going to get interesting. I guess let's go around and talk to people. It is Mars's birthday? Yeah. So we should probably give her something. Base needs to lay off. We can do a hug. Alright. I know you like those crystals. Okay, yeah. Did we reach... Yeah, I guess we got to 80 biology. I guess we can do... Wait, didn't we do that? Or did I remember? Log for dog? Yeah, that's a good point. Log for dog. I keep forgetting about that, to be honest. Wait. Oh my gosh, I think I'm stupid. We did a special save. Please tell me I didn't accidentally overwrite it. Shit, I think I did. Oh well. We did do this, right? Save you did. Yeah, I saved over an autosave, but I think the autosave auto-saved over it again. So we lost it. I should have loaded in the save immediately. That was my bad. Whoops. Cat, please move. I think this is the proper save. I don't remember us seeing this. Oh, okay. If you say so. I guess, I mean, it makes sense that the continue would... If the continue uses the first autosave, then that would make sense that it would just go into it. Continue just does the latest save overall. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I guess it's fine then. I'm just completely misremembering what we did last time then. Okay, let's read this then. We had an event with building Rex's thing, but maybe it was a previous one, and now we're progressing more. I don't know. Cat, hi. He just loves bothering me. I think the reason it's disorienting is that Rex gets so many events because we have so much friendship with him. Okay. Hang on. Kitty has some slightly matted fur over here. We can untangle that a little bit. You need a good brushing, Kitty. Alright. It feels like if you save over an autosave and that's not the auto-load, how would you ever access the manual autosave? Yeah, I mean, I was thinking you might have to reload it manually, but if it just automatically does the latest save, then that's good. I think we're fine. Sorry, Kitty is still trying to bother me over here. She's so cute. Literally everyone would overwrite it by accident as soon as the game loads up. It's true. But yeah, I guess we're probably fine. Um, you spot Rex carrying supplies and big pieces of wood into the construction site at the end of the lounge, the future home of his bar. He waves at you. Well, as much of a wave as he can do with his arms full of mushwood. Hey, La Solana, he calls out to you. Things are going great in here, thanks to you. It'll be done in no time. You take a look at what you can see. Rex has kept it all pretty well tarped up, and hates letting people inside to peek, but you can tell it's big. Perhaps a little too big. Ambitious, maybe, for a first solo construction project. But Rex has had a lot of help from his crew, and from the whole colony. He'd have to be able to find enough wood. Yeah, it'll be great. Rex comes over to you and slings you into a one-armed hug. Just seeing you makes me super energized, he says. I can almost hear the music now. That's right, the bar's gonna have live music. You know anyone who plays an instrument? I'm gonna work double time to finish this place. If you want to help, bring me all the mushwood you can find. Hell yeah, we will do that. Okay. Yeah, that was definitely new, so we're good. Alright, let's see what the heck this is then. Hal is looking a little sickly. Well, I found this really pretty flower growing in the garden. I've never seen it before. Take a look at it. Wait, you've seen these before. It's a rad plant. Yeah, rad for radioactive, of course. What? It's radioactive, Hal says, backing up quickly. Good thing you knew that. What do we do? You're not sure, but if you study it in the geoponics lab, you might be able to figure out how to neutralize the radiation. Oh, we should do that. I guess we're all done with Cal then. Rad because 8 power gem card, that's rad. That is really rad. We could do geoponics lab. We don't especially need these things, but that sounds fun, figuring out what to do with radioactive plants. I was wondering where Nomi was. They're still playing their same game. It's fine, Cal. Radiation is like basically nothing. We get radiation poisoned the whole time and it's fine. It's true. We do get a lot of radiation poisoning. Alright. I kind of want to continue with our original plan of working on social skills this year. We'll try to leave the radioactive plant for next year, I think. But, I might completely forget about it. Hopefully I remember at some point. Remembers I think radiation killed Professor Hal. Fuck, wait. Yep. We don't know. Maybe. Okay. So, as far as... Actually, let's check what we have in the, in command. There was... Work in the depot, which gives us organizing and persuasion. We definitely need persuasion. That's the main thing that we need. Then there was cooking, and there's a bunch of stuff over in engineering. Oh, right, I forgot the spa is a new thing. But I think we did pretty much everything we wanted to. Creativity and empathy is good. I think I want to try to work on persuasion a little bit, though. Okay, so we have this for creativity and persuasion. Oh, right, we also have engineering that's almost at the thing. We wanted to repair robots at some point, right? I think we did a little bit of that last time. Creativity and engineering. That's what we did the special save about, yeah, for the spa. So we would want to study humanities for persuasion, I think. It is insane to me that there still isn't an option for persuasion that gives it as its primary stat, only secondary stats. Yeah. So maybe for our last 2 months, let's do a humanities and a repair robots, perhaps? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Or... I guess it depends how badly we want the persuasion perk. Because I think even if we did humanities twice, we still wouldn't have enough. They fear Solana's power if we can just persuade, challenge everyone into the rebellion side. You know what? That is a good point, that, like, if we're gonna start picking sides, maybe I want to have my persuasion as high as possible. I'm gonna need to really crank it up. Well, let's study humanities for now. This month you learned about the various education styles in Earth, from oral traditions to the first schools in Greece and China, to monastic education, to factory schooling and the standardization of education. On Rotunda, everyone learns together, forming groups based not on age, but by interest and relative skill level. It seems a lot more human than shoving everyone into grades based on age, than just sending them out into the world once they're adults, regardless of what they have or haven't learned. I mean, I think this works for this colony, especially since they have, you know, relatively few children, but, like, I don't know, I think it is also good to group people up based on age, largely for, well, especially as they're younger kids when they have, like, different developmental levels, but, you know, as they get older, they can, you know, continue to be with the same people and, like, the same social groups. I feel like that's also kind of important. Okay. 10 kudos of total equals gold. We can get so many kudos today. We'll just be swimming in kudos, and then we can spend them all at the spa. Alright. Well, we've got some gems, but nothing to use them on. I actually kind of don't want that, because we can get a nice straight going. That's too much, though. You know what? Maybe you do that. I feel like this basically only works if you've eliminated the societal impression that kids who struggle with academic concepts are slow or deserving of ridicule. Yeah, because it's like... I mean, clearly they have a very different education system than us. I don't think they, like, associate, you know, having to be in at a certain skill level, which I do buy from the stratosphere hippies, but there's no way current helioculture is that chill. Yeah, exactly. Maybe we do this. There we go, and we get the +1 skill. Perfect. Kudos, lots of creativity. Only 2 persuasion, but we're getting it up slowly but surely. How are we on reasoning? We're like nowhere near that. Not crazy far though. I hate that they're just always standing next to each other. You need to shut up. You know what? How much... How far are we? We're very far from 80. enough boost to combat, but not nearly enough. If you buy the gun, yeah, exactly. We challenge into a duel and then fucking pull out a gun. Actually, I just realized we're really close on toughness. The card is called sharpshooting. Yeah, I guess so. Right, it's... whose birthday is it? Is it Face's birthday? Mid-wet, yeah. What the heck does he like, though? What? I remember we've tried giving him a bunch of stuff, and he didn't like any of it, but I forget which stuff it was. So he really hates the flowers. What else did we try giving him? Did we try giving him a crystal cluster? I think we tried giving him log. He didn't care for log. Did we try giving him egg? I don't remember. I just genuinely can't see him liking any of this stuff. Would he like a strange device? It's evil alien tech. I don't know. Like a weird fruit? Do you want an egg? We know Sim doesn't like anything. Maybe Face really is that much of a hater. Yeah, he just hates everything you give him. Is this a birthday gift? Face asks, clearly disgusted. You don't know me at all, do you? Dislikes blue bottle fruits, of course he does. He fucking hates everything. You know what, let's just keep giving everyone else gifts too. Let's just give people flowers because we have so many. I expected Bobber fruit would be at least neutral since, you know, at least it's calories. Apparently not. Yeah, we already gave her stuff. We don't want to give anything to Tangent because it's her birthday next month. Should we just give her a flower? I know she likes egg, but does she like... Yeah, she does not like crystals, but maybe she likes some flowers too. Thanks. Okay. Oh! That still gave us something though. Evil alien calories, yep. Demi doesn't notice you approach, focused intently on the document on her hollow palm, chewing on her nail as she reads through the small print. She jumps when he sees you, looking momentarily guilty. Oh, hey, Solana. I was just looking over some stuff. The Helios have got all these documents you have to sign if you wanna... She trails off, biting her lip. I'm gonna sign up to join up with the Helios, she says, hesitantly. But there's a part where if you're under 18, you have to have a parent's permission to sign up as a reservist, and... Nemi looks down at the ground and scuffs her shoe in the dirt. Mom's gonna be so mad, she mumbles. So mad. Like, she's probably gonna cry and it'll be this whole stupid thing, and... She takes a deep breath. But I gotta do it. I just gotta do something. I want to try to talk her out of it, but she's gonna hate if I do that, but I have to. Nemi sniffs and rubs her nose with the back of her hand. Maybe it's a real bad one. I don't know. But I can't just sit around and do nothing. The next time those aliens come, I want to be ready for them. I'm not gonna get caught off guard again, Anemone says, setting her jaw. When they come back, I want to be able to fight with everything I got. No one else has to die like Calm. I do not like how far Anemone's locked into war mode, but for a terrifying second I was worried she wanted a baby with Vase, the far more terrifying outcome. That would indeed be terrifying. Nemi gestures angrily to dismiss the hollow screen and puts her face in her hands. She crouches down small, pressing her head against her knees, and takes an anguished breath. Goddamn aliens, she says. Bunch of dumb dinosaur-looking assholes. You don't have to do this. You tell her there are other ways to help besides fighting. She stands up and rubs her eyes. Maybe, she says. This is my best option. I'm not gonna let them take away anyone else. Oh no. Alright, who else do I need to give stuff to? Should probably give stuff to Nomi. And this is saved for next time. Ooh! We got some creativity. I don't remember if we read this one. Nomi and Rex are talking together on the couch, legs intertwined. Rex spots you first and gives you a jaunty wave. And Nomi follows his gaze with a big smile. Hey, Solana, Nomi says, scooting over easily so there's space on the couch. Rex pats the cushion invitingly. We were just talking about what we'd rather have as a pet. A hot-eye as big as a Unisaur? Or a Unisaur as small as a hot-eye? What do you think? Well, we have a present for you. What do you like? We know what you like. Likes crystal clusters, okay. I feel like they would like flowers, too. And let's do our creativity thing. Want to make something? Nomi flaps their hand in front of their face. I do, but it's so hot on this planet, don't you think? You shrug. Sure, it's different than living on a climate-controlled spaceship, but you're kind of used to it by now. Nomi snaps their fingers. Wait, we should make something to stay cool. You and Nomi brainstorm all sorts of weird and wonderful ways to stay cool. Umbrella hats, sunglasses with funny shapes, giant vats of cooling goop. But it all seems too complicated. Eventually, you just end up doodling on some of Nomi's paper and folding it to make paper fans. Sometimes the best solutions are the most simple, they smile, fanning themselves with the new with their new Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform fan. I can never say that name. Alright. Well, I think we are good to go for the next round. I guess we just keep going on the persuasion, because it just seems like that goes up so slowly. You're doing creative writing in teams, and you're paired with Mars. You'd wish it was Tang. She always does so well on these. The theme is Earth's natural environment. Mars takes the topic at face value and wants to write about how beautiful everything was on Earth, with blue skies and green plants everywhere, and huge oceans that went forever. It always looks gorgeous in the carefully staged movies you've seen in holovids. I think we can run with Mars' idea. Climate problems could be interesting too. Let's go with Mars. I got kudos for it. Mars takes the creative part of creative writing literally, describing Earth's lush forests and verdant plains and deep, jewel-like oceans, with a reverence bordering on the obscene. She's pretty passionate about it, so you let her do most of the work. Mars insists she gets to present it to the class. This, too, is a good idea. Mars is a born presenter. She's just doing the entire group project by herself. Tang is good at creative writing. Would not have guessed that. Go Tang, hidden depth. Yeah. She just takes all of her schooling very seriously, I guess. We aren't sure that it's totally based on facts, but it is received well by both your classmates and your teacher. You get a handful of kudos for doing well. Alright. What do we want to do? First collectible use is free, so I guess we can do that. Well, we have a bunch of wild cards. +2 to cards with gems is fun. Let's see what we can get out of that. So we get 2 and 4. This can turn into a 9 if we really want to. We can use this too. Yeah, it's not doing well. Well, we can have a bunch of 4s. Oh, no. That's a lot of 4s, but... Alright, I think that works. Creativity is getting pretty good. We're still, like, nowhere near the perk, though, for persuasion. Alright. Last one before... war, I guess. She likes medicinal roots, right? Guess we can give him something. So we tried the bobber fruit, tried the flower. I don't remember if we've tried egg. Let's try egg. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is disgusting, Vase says with a sneer, holding the egg. The anemone likes the taste of these things. Stars only know why. I guess I'll give it to her. He just hates everything. Bruh. I think he just hates all the colored things. I'm pretty sure he didn't like the mushwood log either. We can try medicinal roots at some point. Vase hater confirmed, yeah. Did we try giving him a crystal? I don't remember. Alright, well. Cool. He also likes the medicinal roots, right? Are we literally at 100? We are! Well, we just... Well, we maxed out Dis! Alright, let's see what this gets us. You can't find Dis outside the walls, even though the duty roster has him working on the expedition vehicles today. After asking around, one of his crewmates points you to where she'd seen him disappear into the forest just 10 minutes ago. You thank her and set off into the wilderness. Oops, hang on. You've picked up a few things about tracking after hanging out with Dis for so long, so you follow his trail into the nearby mushwood forest until you hear him, speaking calm and slow. Shh, it's gonna be okay. Just let me help you. You follow his voice to find him kneeling on the ground next to a wounded Hawkeye. The scent of blood and animal fear colors the air. Dis's knife glints as he pulls it from its sheath. Don't worry, he says to the creature. I've got you. It won't hurt anymore, real soon. Is he just gonna put it out of its misery? That's kinda sad. A branch snaps under your foot and Dis's head jerks up. His eyes go wide, but he doesn't greet you. Instead, he gestures for you to get a closer look at the Hawkeye. Its single leg is mangled beyond recognition from a hunter's snap trap, and it's bleeding heavily. It can only stare up at Dis, defeat in its 4 eyes. It struggles once more, then goes still from the exertion, wheezing miserably. You tell everyone they're humane traps, Dis murmurs. But humans lie, don't they? They lie all the time. The hunters won't be back to check the traps until tomorrow. Dis continues, looking down at the Hawkeye with a grim expression. I have to put it out of its misery. I mean, if it was intended to be killed for food anyway, like, we need to eat. Like, if it had just, like, you know, gotten caught in something by accident and there was a way to save it, then maybe I would attempt to save it, but I guess if if it's intended to be hunted anyway, I am sad for the poor little guy, but maybe we have to. Given we're deep in the planet war, I doubt anyone's gonna okay us nursing it to health, yeah. Unless we do it in secret. Which, you know, would not be out of character for us, but Cal would probably help us about it. That is true. We still don't know what Tangent's doing to her specimen. That is also true. What is Tangent doing with that poor little baby Hawkeye she got? I mean, if there is a way to, like, do something else with this guy, that would be fun, but I do feel like in this situation the best thing to do would probably be to just put it out of its misery. Yeah, Cal would probably want to help us, but don't know if he has the relevant resources for that, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we already have one Hawkeye friend, but I do feel really bad about it. I kind of feel like we probably should, but he's a hydroponics guy, not a bed bay dude, yeah. It's true. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to kill it. Look at this little guy. It's just looking at me. We probably should, but I don't want to. Oh. Poor little fluff. We'd probably be able to. We have 100 animal skill. The question is more if the event will let us. Yeah. Yeah, that's always the question. Like, I feel like I have to at least try to save it. It probably won't work. But I should probably at least try. This shakes his head. Don't you know anything by now, Solana? He replies, voice flat. I can do anything I want. With a clean cut, just slices through the neck of the Hawkeye. It tenses, twitching in fear reflex, then goes limp in his arms. I don't like the I can do anything I want. What the hell is that? Otis, I take it you have not tried that option before? Yeah, I don't like that response. That's so weird. I haven't gotten to 100 friendship with Dis before. Yeah, that's really interesting. I've maxed out at like 60 in my runs, I think. Wow. This is entirely new to me. Huh. That's interesting. Let's see, maybe see what the rest of the event says. It's not the first time he's been creepy. Yeah. This is quiet at your side for a long time, breathing evenly in through his nose and out through his mouth, like he's meditating. It's better to die quickly than to suffer in a trap. But there shouldn't have been a trap in the first place, he says eventually. He clicks his tongue against his teeth. It's pointless. He was going to die eventually, but not here. Not natural. Not the death part that bothers me. It's our vanity. Humans are so afraid of extinction that they'll kill indiscriminately to avoid it. I mean, I think there's a difference between, like, hunting animals for your survival and, like, hunting animals just because you can to, like, because you think you're in control of just the whole cycle of nature. It's really interesting to me how much this parallels what Cal was talking about. I feel like they're more similar than you might think. That, yeah, he also just seems to think that we shouldn't be killing animals even if it is for our survival. We are in the planet war right now, so we've passed hunting for food. True, but, like, I don't know. At least, I guess we don't really know the context of this trap. Normally when I think of, you know, traps placed for creatures like this, I think it's for hunting. It's for food. But I suppose it is entirely possible that they've just been setting out traps everywhere just to kill off as many creatures as they can, which is, like, the most insane thing to think of. He has a good point that the trap was not humane. We must have invented box traps in the space future, you know? Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a problem, but the way of talking about it is kind of interesting. And also, like, if we are just setting a bunch of traps everywhere just for the purpose of killing random wildlife, insanity. Like, I know this entire war is kind of insanity, but seeing if they are willing to go that far, it's like, like you're just killing random animals. That's why. That makes no sense. I would not put that beyond Helios, honestly. Yeah, they're definitely very, what's the word, fanatical about this whole planet war, but that definitely makes it sound like they're actually trying to eradicate all other life than humans, which should be pretty obvious that if you do that, the humans aren't going to survive either. Like, if you completely destroy the planet's ecology, humans cannot survive there? Yeah, wild stuff. Oh my gosh. Which is what General Lum did say he wanted. I didn't think he meant it seriously. Because if he does mean it seriously, that's phenomenally stupid. Dis takes out a cloth and wipes the Hopeye's blood off his blade. His movements slow and reverent. I used to let it control me too. I thought dying meant that living was pointless. He continues. But now I know the truth. Life is short and brutal and hard. It's up to us to fill it with as many experiences as we can. Are we going to spend our lives cooped up in the colony, subjugating nature because it strikes fear into our animal brains? He smiles faintly. Or are we going to get out there, and live the only life we've been given? He looks down at the corpse of the Hopeye and lays his hand gently against its head. We're all going to end up like this in the end. There's no use denying it, and letting the fear of it control our actions. I wonder what we'd see if we could take a look at, like, Lum's version of our stats. I do not imagine his reasoning would be very high. Yeah, gang, I'm not sure General Lum is smart. Yeah. Yeah. He definitely has that vibe of just, like, delusional and drunk on power. Like, he just thinks because he's in command, he can do whatever he wants. Like, if he says, eradicate all alien life, people will just do it, and it'll just work out, because it was his idea, and he's the smartest. Because, you know, the world just bends to his whims. I never thought about it like that. Isn't it obvious? Dis asks, looking up at you. It's not like I'm out there throwing myself off cliffs, but it's not something I let control me. It's gonna go great, everybody! Total planet collapse, let's go! Yep. He smiles, genuinely. And because I don't fear death, I do so much more living. You should try it sometime. Dis lifts the Hopeye's body into his arms and rises to his feet. The smell of death will attract animals right into the other traps, he says. And I'm not taking it back to the colony to be stuffed into a recycler. We have to take it into the woods and give it back to nature. Huh. So is that what would have happened to animals caught in these traps? They just, like, recycle them? Interesting. Okay. To be fair, I'm not sure Solana has much fear of death either, what with our behavior. That's a fair point. And also, I froze again. Oh my gosh. It's the weather, I swear. It just, it overheats when it's hot out. I should probably, like, turn on my, my air conditioner or something. I'm honestly still not sure if the Helios eat meat. Yeah, I don't know. I think they do. I'm pretty sure it has been mentioned that they're, like, hunting some animals for meat, at least. Or maybe all the times hunting has been mentioned, it's been purely to kill them. Maybe I just misread the entire thing. Hang on. I need a drink. You and Dis walk further into the forest in respectful silence, Dis cradling the dead Hopeye against his chest. Eventually, he tells you to wait while he finds the tracks of a predator and lays it down nearby. An offering the forest accepts without acknowledgement. He returns to you, blood-stained and solemn. It's done, he says. Yeah, that's been my problem with the hunting parties. Like, Base was specifically referencing trophy hunting there, yeah. You begin the walk back to the colony, though it's clear Dis is taking his time. After a few minutes of walking, he turns to you and grabs your arm, forcing you to stop and look at him. Solana, he says, his eyes burning. Promise you won't let me end up like that Hopeye. At your questioning look, he squeezes your arm to the point that it almost hurts. If I'm trapped here, just let me go, okay? Well, okay, by comparing him to the Hawkeye, he's making it sound like we should kill him, which I don't know how I feel about that. um, I mean, if he's saying that, like, he wants to leave the colony or something, he's attempted that in the past, and we've let him leave, but I do think that is literally what he's asking, yeah. What does that mean then? Well, I don't know about that. That's that's a lot to ask. If anyone else was saying this to me, it would be extremely scary, but since it's you, it's only kind of scary. Yeah, it's very intense, but then again, we know this is very intense. Um, Always the intensity all the time. Yeah, I feel like we're kind of used to it by now. Like, this is the kind of thing we expect out of this. Uh, should we promise? I guess. I'm not entirely sure I understand what you're asking, but okay. Just breathes a sigh of relief. Thank you, Solana. He stares at you for a few unnerving seconds, perfectly still, before jerking into motion and fishing a pendant necklace out from his clothes. He unclasps it from his neck and holds it out to you. Here, he says. You should have this. I want you to have it. You turn and let him put it around your neck. The pendant is large, but surprisingly light. You recognize it as a fragment of unisaur horn, its pearlescent color shimmering in the light. Oh dang, that can turn into a 10? Look, I'm all for flirting with Dis in this moment, but I feel like, are you flirting with me? Is not a good way to go about it. Are you flirting with me? I don't know how I feel about that. Uh, to be fair, I'd probably fluster him a bit and that'd be funny. Yeah, he definitely has been getting flustered. Um, hmm. Just asks us for a death pact. Solana, are you flirting with me? Yep. That's just our relationship in a nutshell, right? Hmm. I don't know, I feel like it would kind of ruin the moment a little bit. Uh, yeah, thank you. It's beautiful. I didn't make it. Dis replies, the Unisaur did. I just put it on a cord. But thank you. He's emo, a death pact is basically proposing. I know, right? Disregards you with a serious expression. You're the only person in this colony that I've ever really cared about. He says, I don't know why you bothered trying to be my friend when I was trying to push everyone away. His mouth bends in a shy little smile. Thank you for sticking with it, he says softly. You don't know how much I appreciate having a friend here. Aww. He steps away and looks down at the ground, suddenly evasive. Listen, I don't know how much longer I have left here, he says softly. I just want you to know that I want to spend the time I do have with you. Aww. And again, I do wonder if by not having a lot of time, he means that he does expect to die, or that he just intends to actually leave the colony for good. But yeah, I guess we're done. Given the entire previous conversation, I really hope here means running away, yeah. Yep. Well, I guess let's have our rest. And then it'll be time for Glow. Nothing much happens this month. You spend most of the time spacing out to whatever's on your here speak, occasionally nodding hello to the other colonists passing through. You binge a few seasons of a show you've been meaning to rewatch. Okay. Well, I kind of feel like we already took care of all our business in the spa, so we don't really need to get rid of anything. Hal reaches up and strokes one of the native plants in the garden, its light reflecting onto his awestruck face. When we landed here, we didn't even know this was possible. What else don't we know about this place? I guess let's give him stuff. What does he like again? I feel like he would like a flower. No, he doesn't really care. Do we want to explore again? Keep in mind that generic events are repeatable. Yeah, I think we probably want to explore. I guess it's either explore or look out. Explore would definitely be fun. Because they've probably spawned new events and stuff. Like, the generic events will be back, but there also might be some interesting boss events. Well, since you like the flowers, and since we have so many of them, let's just keep giving you them. Oh, there's a Dis over there. Base is leaning against the wall of the garrison, looking totally relaxed. If the attack last Glow was anything to go on, this one's gonna be a walk in the park, he says. Sure, I'm still training like everyone else, but... Okay, let's see. So I think we've tried all of these and he didn't like them. We can try... Let's try medicinal roots, I guess? Here we go! He actually likes something for once. Base gives you a curt nod and tosses your gift on a nearby table. Thanks. Well, he certainly doesn't seem to be very grateful. So I think he was also neutral to the logs. So I'm pretty sure we tried giving him that. I guess all we have left to try are the crystal clusters and the strange device. Let's just keep giving people stuff. Does she like flowers? We don't know. Ah, I saw Dis back there. Hey, Dis. I guess there probably isn't really much point in giving him stuff since we were already maxed out. If the attack we had to use single-use explosives we no longer have to survive is anything to go by, there's no problems. I know, right? Getting the heliopause is so good at war planning. I know. It's because Lum is just so smart. Wait. I see the thing. we go. A siege? What's that? Yeah, we don't know. It is really hard to see the paths during glow. I think we can probably just do all of the events because we get so much like stress bonus. In the future, we will no longer understand prolonged defense of a single vulnerable structure. You come to a dense part of the path where the gnarlwood surrounds you and blocks out the sky and the wormhole above. Long threads that look like hair are hanging down from the trees. Strange. You've never seen this during the rest of the year. We'll have to go through these. I don't remember if we saw this one specifically. And the threat starvation poses to a standing army. Yep. Yeah, I do remember seeing this. Combat 50 or greater. Oh no. We would have been okay if we had the gun. Or at least the thingamabobber. I mean, we can fix that, I guess. Oh, I see them lighting up there. We have Plas Cutter. Your skill with the Plas Cutter comes in handy, as you're able to cut a solanocyte's hole through the sticky hairs without accidentally getting them all over yourself. I think this is what we did last time too. It was I think we got this before. To be fair, the thing didn't give anything last time we did that. Yeah, I do not remember what happened last time. You come across a strange glowing river in the sky, floating just over the mushroom-capped treetops. It reminds you of old Earth vids about the Milky Way, or the Northern Lights. It undulates away to the left and right, a river of luminous mist. Beneath it, a curtain of tiny glowing particles slowly rains down into the forest below. Follow it. Seems to be denser to the left and flowing slowly to the right. So you decide to head left, towards what must be the source. You stray from the path. The ground is hard to traverse in the dim phosphorescence. The river gets denser and starts to shimmer a little, like the spore clouds you see sometimes in pollen. Be careful not to get too close to the particles raining down from it. Hang on. The mist seems to be coming from something near the ground, somewhere up ahead. Something big. Something big and moving. The strange river of light is flowing from something on the next plateau. It's heading east and trailing this glowing dust. Some kind of spore, maybe, behind it. You can go down into the ravine here and try to keep following it, or safely cross under the eerie stream and continue where you were headed before. Obviously, we're gonna keep going. After a harrowing trip through the muddy ravine, you make it up to the next plateau, only to find the Sky River has dissipated. You can't find any sign of what made it. Ah, well. Oh, we got some toughness. Not bad. Sky River, no. Yep. Okay, so we had this one before, and we gazed up at the wormhole, and ended up falling. This card is really good. I kind of wonder what would happen if we actually watch where we're going. A 5 with the gem is honestly pretty nice, too. The wormhole card is so good, though. The wormhole card is so good. It's interesting that these require a skill check. I kind of want to see what they give me, especially this one that requires perception 50. Like, there's got to be something interesting there. Literally, the wormhole card is what single-handedly justifies exploring every glow I get the opportunity. Yeah, that is fair. It is very tempting. It is a very good card. You know what? I'm just curious about what the other options are, so I'm gonna try it. I think the reason is that you get like 30 stress from the wormhole option. I mean, we can afford that, but let's just see what the other ones do. The mush trees make their own light. Chemical reaction almost as bright as your hollow palm. All sorts of small flying insects are drawn to them, facilitating pollination. Other plants spread glowing seeds which float up and dance above you, as if they're alive. Maybe they are. So the perception options are to avoid that stress, which would be very handy if you don't have the hot buy friends and you're trying to go for transcending time. Yeah. The gnarlwood trees have these glowing bumps on them. Are those insects inside? You see something pulsing in there, like a goopy caterpillar becoming a butterfly. How strange. Huh. Though you can't see it, you've been told the wormhole high above is shining with ultraviolet light. It's invisible to the human eye, but absorbed and re-emitted as visible light by the flora and fauna around you. Your hollow palm calls it a black light, and says that people on Earth used to use similar, much more concentrated light as decoration. Even your clothing glows faintly. Okay. Well, not much happened there. Hello, friend. Is there anything else over here? Just Sim. Hello again, Sugarbug. He chuckles. You're getting pretty good at navigating in the dark. Sim sets off through the darkened forest with ease, bidding you to follow. Have you come to ask me more questions? What's with that faceless I saw? Oh my gosh, we can actually ask some interesting questions. Ah, Sim says, with a gentle smile. Constellation. You've seen her? That's very lucky, you know. Don't ask me how she does it, but she manages to sneak around these woods like a ghost. The faceless weren't exactly designed with subtlety in mind. He lets out an amused puff of laughter. But she's something else now. She has a name. He knows her personally. Designed. Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising. Oh my god, the wormhole is a 90s style bowling alley. It all makes sense now. Yeah. Huh. Well, tell me more about her then, because this is very interesting. Don't worry, he continues. You'll only see her around and glow. She doesn't like the sunlight. And, unless you breathe in her spores, she's harmless. You fix him with an incredulous look, and he shrugs. It was quite the upset when she broke away from the hole and went to seed, he replies. But as you humans say, life finds a way. Broke away from the hole and went to seed, so like she went rogue and started her own little family, I guess. That's interesting. Constellation. Do you think they'd call her Stella as the nickname if we integrated into the stratospheric? Yeah, I guess so. But that's very cute. I love that she has a name. I love that people just know her. She's the rogue faceless. That's cute. I love her. Sim stops walking and smiles politely. Well, that is enough for now. The trees have ears, you know. Well, thank you. That was actually very interesting. Well, there's another event here. Let's see what it gives us. I think we took samples last time. Let's take some photographs. It's just so beautiful out here. Too bad you can't share these without raising suspicions. Nobody is allowed outside the colony during glow. Nobody. If you were hurt, and Utopia or the others had to come rescue you and got hurt themselves. Well, there are good reasons not to make anyone worry. We'll just have to treasure the memory of this beautiful place. Okay, I guess that's all we get here this time. Also, as long as you don't breathe in her spores, all about that. Yeah, we didn't do anything. We're fine. It's all good. Where are we even going? Am I just going back the way I came? I feel like I am. Oh, there's a way up here, right? Yeah. It is really hard to see anything in glow. Is that it? Huh. Do we really have that few events during glow? I feel like there were more last time. Or are there more paths that I'm missing somewhere? Yeah, I think that's just it. Okay. That was not a lot. I guess we just head back. Look, we still have all this stress. I think the events related to Constellation, like the trapped in the sawmill and scared manticore, become unavailable since you've already done Constellation once. Yeah, but you would think they had other options for after, but I guess not. Well, let's go home and see what the heck happens now. Alright, go home. Now, bravery is getting quite high. You're just putting on your boots on to grab dinner in the lounge when you hear the colony's sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. Ugh, couldn't they have waited until you ate dinner? Rude. Outside your window, you watch the colony defense begin to mobilize. Your hollow palm chimes with the usual reminders for all civilian colonists to stay indoors. Well, I guess we have to. You head to the garrison to grab a plas rifle, then report to the front. Chief Rhett looks surprised to see you, but assigns you to a squad with Nemi and tells you to get up on the walls and do your best. On the other side of the walls is more Xenos than you've ever seen in one place. Ever. They seethe out of the forest, large and small, herbivorous and predatory, fungal and otherwise, flying and crawling and hopping towards the colony with a single-minded determination. The air fills with the pew-pew of laser turrets and the crackle of plas rifles. The enemy's front line collapses, only to be replaced by even more Xenos. Just as many as before, if not more. There's no end to it. The firebreak turns into a graveyard of dead and dying alien bodies. Wave after wave crawling over the corpses until they roil at the base of the walls like the foam on a wave when it hits the shore. You hear the walls creaking underneath you, but they hold strong. There's no sun to set in glow, but night falls in the battlefield without any break in the fighting. Your fingers begin to cramp from pulling the trigger of your plas rifle. Finally, you're relieved by the second guard shift. You walk straight into the garrison and right into a dreamless sleep. Well, that's interesting. You're awoken 6 hours later for your next shift. The kitchens have provided the soldiers with pressed soy rations and hot black tea, which you grab, then make your way back to the walls to survey the carnage of the night. As you arrive, your holopalm lights up with a priority message. Security personnel, we are under siege, the security chief says, getting right to the point. On Earth, sieges were used to break a city by starvation or drought. We have plenty of food and water. Guards will rotate 6 hours on, 6 off. So long as we keep the Xenos on the other side of the wall, we can hold them off for days, weeks even. Weeks. Everyone exchanges exhausted looks. He pauses, then adds, "We can do this. We're stronger than them, and we're not going anywhere. They have soy rations, there's protein in soy still, yeah, I guess. I called it by complete accident. Yeah, you did call it. I mean, I don't like the fact that I've joined the soldiers, but I feel like I'm more okay with, you know, joining them to defend the colony than joining them to, like, go out and kill random animals. You and the other soldiers fall into a fitful rhythm, alternating shifts on the walls with brief snippets of sleep. Gunfire becomes the soundtrack of your days, which begin to smear together like paste. Nemi in particular is suffering. She volunteers for relief shifts, sometimes pulling doubles or triples on the wall. You catch her mechanically shoveling soy porridge into her mouth before seeming to fall asleep sitting up. A minute later, she jolts awake as someone's spoon clatters against their bowl. Yeah, you don't have an option to go full traitor or anything. Joining the defense is different from joining the heliopause. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I had the option to just, like, stay at home and not get involved, but I feel like I should, you know, help with the defense. It'd be help the soldiers defend the colony or just wait in your bunk. Those are, in fact, the only two options I was currently given. And honestly, like, I don't want to, you know, betray the colony. I don't want to go completely rogue. I do want the colony to survive. So, yeah. Tempers grow short as fatigue sets in. 6 days pass. You're on shift, watching the Xenos batter themselves against the walls. You feel your eyes on focus at the sheer formless horde of them. In all these days, they still haven't breached the colony. Sometimes they even seem to retreat, ebbing backwards and reforming somewhere else. Behavior you've never seen before. A group of monsters breaks from the tree line. Nothing new, except for one of them. This is when this happens. Uh-oh. One of the Xenos looks different from the others. Almost humanoid. What is that thing? I mean, is it something like Sim? Except, you know, when Sim decided to become humanoid to, like, interact with us, this one is, definitely freaky. The creature looks suspiciously like a person, at least from the waist up. Down below, it's a lumbering chimera vaguely reminiscent of a faceless, wrapped in tattered bits of flesh and bony protrusions. Something like hair flutters behind it as it turns and looks right at you with an unnerving, malevolent intelligence. You rub your eyes. Yeah, it's still there. Like, the hair looks a lot like how Sim's hair looks like kind of leaves or seaweed. I love how it has, like, a flower gun. Yeah, it shows the least humanoid triangle I've ever seen, yep. The dinky-ass pistol thing is really funny to me. It is very goofy looking. It's just like an imitation of a gun. I wonder if it actually even shoots anything. It approaches to the base of the wall, and the other monsters surge forward to pound against the gates. I feel like we should try to talk to it, but it's obviously not going to talk. You wave to it, and the creature sneers and, to your surprise, approaches the wall. Little weed. They, address you in a halting, rasping voice. Everything seems to go quiet nearby as you strain to understand this talking horror. Child of breeding rabbits. Feral pig. Kudzu. Its unnervingly human gaze pierces you. Introduced species. You understand. So did you share a cultural microchip with your gardener friends so they can insult us with Earth invasive species? Oh, Mew? You wonder if you're hallucinating. Is it holding a gun? You slowly nod yes. You understand the words, at least. Hi, Noctilucent. Is that how you... how do you say that? Noctilucent? I don't know what that means. I mean, the Noct presumably is night. The choice word name. Child of breeding rabbits. It was literally banned until, like, this year. It's true. The monster says through a voice box that seems better suited to guttural roars than human language. A gardener. Designation, pest control. I perform my task, unlike gardener symbiosis. You do not drag Sim into this. It's like a glow of clouds at night or something. That is a cool name, yeah. Sim. Yes, now that they're standing still, you can see the seed of Sim's slightly inhuman features staring back at you. Their hair is a bit like Sim's as well, as if it's actually alive somehow, waving in a wind that isn't there. I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious why they're trying to kill us. Tenuous cloud-like phenomena in the upper atmosphere. Cool. I don't know if there's any point trying to talk to this guy. Like, we are literally trying to destroy their planet. Well, not all of us. Some of us are trying to destroy their planet. I guess let's go with what do you want? Even though that's also kind of a terrible question. Who are you talking to? You jump as Nemi sneaks up behind you. And when you look back, Noctilucent is gone. The most important question, what are your pronouns? I kind of want to do that. I don't know about that card, though. Is that a -1? That is a -1. That's pretty funny. I'm really tempted to go for it. The second most important question, do you come here often? Also, I think we can come back. Am I back? I think I'm okay. That alien was talking. You babble about the talking monster named Noctilucent, but Nemi thinks you're having some kind of mental breakdown. The siege is getting to everyone, Solana, he says, patting you on the shoulder. If you're freaking out, go lie down. I'll cover for you. Third most important question, do you like jazz? Also, this playthrough has been full of me realizing I've been mispronouncing a lot of names in my head. I feel like I'm probably mispronouncing a lot of the names too, but we'll just go with it. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you look down the sights of your plas rifle and see a curious thing. The monsters are retreating. As you gather with the other soldiers in the colony square, your holopalm lights up with a priority announcement from Governor Lum. We're all learning so many words here, I know, right? They love using big words in this game, huh? The alien attackers have been defeated, he says. The siege has ended! Lum smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. Another year, another win! You're welcome, Vertumna. You're welcome, humanity. To me, Noctilucent was nocticulent until I looked closer and realized you were correct. Yeah, there's a lot of weird words in here. You're welcome, you hear, and see Chief Rhett nearby, looking livid. What did he do? He rants to his security officers. Race out there like an idiot with his honor card. Defend strategically unsound positions. Put himself in danger so he had to save his overstuffed ass. The soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. And when I actually needed him, Rhett continues, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shifts. Yeah, I happen to know that word already for reasons, so I was like, hell yeah, Cloud Knight thing. Yeah, nice. I mean, I do appreciate Rhett, you know, actually speaking out against Lum. I hope he doesn't get himself in trouble, though. I feel like if Rhett goes down, we're gonna be in a bad position. If we get our persuasion high enough, we might be able to nudge Rhett into a mutiny. I hope so. But I feel like that's not happening because our persuasion is under 30. The soldiers are exhausted from the siege, so the crowd in the square disperses quickly. Only a few Helios remain, covertly filming Rhett while he continues to rail against Lum. These assholes. On the horizon, the first rays of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out through the gates to begin vaporizing Xeno corpses for their component molecules. I do wonder if there's, like, a reason they always do this during Glow. Like, do whatchamacallit, like, whoever's in control, whether it's the gardeners or their leaders or whoever, do they, like, have the most control over the wildlife during that time or something? That's what I'm wondering. There's a really funny way I learned was I was mispronouncing some of the names. I have a Tomodachi Life Island with a bunch of the characters, and the voice banks are really good at pronouncing their names. Oh, that's interesting, yeah. This is why they're hunting animals for the component molecules. Yeah, I guess so. That night, you have terrible dreams. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you're a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, the ozone crackle of plas rifle fire arcing overhead. With your taloned claws, you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing choking handfuls of it into your mouth. In a moment of lucidity, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. I guess technically they're using the whole bird, but it sounds like the molecule recycling specifically does not work for food, so in a way it's all wasted. Yeah, I do wonder what it's used for. Probably for, like, the, whatchamacallit, the nano printer, where they're just, like, creating new materials out of the existing material. But this is also really interesting. I think, you know, to some extent Solana is, like, linked to this network. So I guess it's not surprising that she sees herself as part of it. You jolt awake when you realize you've been pulling your own guts out of your throat. Just a dream. You're shaking and coated in a film of terror sweat, your heart pounding. You don't find sleep again before dawnbreak. Well, that was terrifying. Alright, we got a lot of Rex points. A measly 7 persuasion. 20 creativity is good though. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Well, here we are, age 18. If we could have just recycled animals during the famine event, I don't think it would have been a famine. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we can make food with the nano printer. I don't know why though. I don't know. Cal is sitting cross-legged on top of the gardening shed. His face turns toward the sun. He cracks open one eye when he realizes you're watching him. I like to spend a little bit of time every day communing with the planet, he says, smiling down at you. I think it's kind of important to think about why we're here and what we're doing, you know? That's very sweet. Ah. Log for the dog. Soldiers keep trying to recruit me to hunt animals, Dis says, rolling his eyes. They think the only reason anyone would go frontiering is to kill everything already there and put up a flag. Idiots. He strums his fingers over the hilt of the knife in his belt. I mean, yeah, I've killed animals out there, but... He shrugs. It was only because I had to. Kill or be killed doesn't mean murder everything indiscriminately. Yeah. Morris is tapping away at a large hollow screen displaying schematics of the colony. An art gallery here, she muses, dragging some template buildings around. Next to a gourmet restaurant here. A walk down the promenade past the boutiques, ending at the live theater. She places her finger to her chin. What do you think, Solana? It's all a fantasy right now, but you know me. I'm highly goal-oriented. Yep. Girl definitely has plans. Rex is surveying an empty lot with a critical eye. There's a lot of potential here, he says thoughtfully, tapping something into his hollow palm. Maybe an elder care home? One day, hopefully we'll be lucky enough to have old folks. And it makes sense to have it right in the middle of the colony. He gestures his hollow palm away and turns to you with a smile. Gotta think about the future if we're still expecting we got one. A big reason for the suspicious microbial soil from Earth is that it had specific bacteria that facilitate the growth of Earth plants. Yeah. Which we still seem to need. See all that goddamn soy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Log for dog. I don't think vertumnant animals are substitutable for that food supply, at least. Yeah, unsure. Alright. You got your log. Rex beams when he sees you walking towards him. Solana, he calls. Just the person I wanted to see. You duck under the shade of an overhanging bit of construction. I wanted to talk to you about something, Rex starts without preamble. I wanted to talk about us. I mean... I guess, what do you mean, us? Knowing Rex, I can guess where he's going with this. Interesting that neither of these are marked as flirting. Yeah, like, I assume he's flirting, but part of me thinks that the game is about to fake me out. Rex tilts his head at you, the corner of his mouth quirking up in a crooked, fanged smile. I mean, how can I say this? You're hot, and I'm easy. Why don't we put those two things together and see what happens? Like, I really dig that we're friends, Rex says. I just think all friends should come with a side of benefits, if that's what both people want. And, gorgeous, he continues, looking you up and down. The hair on the back of your arms prickles under his gaze. I want. The lack of a choice option here is, shall I say, concerning. I think there's going to be choices later. I will say, like, Rex has always been very, like, openly affectionate and stuff, but I think in later years, his demeanor and, like, you know, approach has just gotten more overtly sexual, which is kind of making me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. I think he needs to back off. He laughs and ducks his head, running his hand through his hair. Sorry, I can't turn it off. I wonder if it's, like, part of his dogginess? Yeah, same. He's very forward. Yeah. Rex licks his fingers behind his head and rocks back on his heels. I've never really dated anyone before, he confesses. Like, I love people, and I really like fooling around with people, but those aren't always the same people, if you catch what I'm saying. It's like how I love Nomi, but I don't want to be sexy with them. I've definitely hooked up with people I didn't really feel anything for, just because it was fun and we both wanted to. Are we shifting into a romantic allosexual Rex arc? That is honestly kind of what it sounds like. He stops rocking and takes your hands. If you're okay with that, I think we could have a lot of fun and just see where it goes. Sorry. No. Rex gives you the biggest, saddest puppy dog eyes you've ever seen. Really? He whines. Like, literally whines. Then he stands up straight and gives you a big smile. Kidding, kidding, he exclaims. Don't kid like that. That wasn't funny, dude. I'm just pulling your leg. We're cool, for real. I mean, you know me. A dog's gotta hunt. I've got plenty of friends I don't sleep with, he says. I'm always happy to have one more. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that. I mean, I get it. I think it's just how he is. And, like, I do think he's genuine when he says that he's okay with just being friends. He has a very strange sense of, like, romantic and sexual boundaries. And I do think it's linked to his dogginess, which is, interesting, because his augment is supposed to be just the ears. But, he has also mentioned, like, smelling things like a dog. So it's clearly more than just that. Oops. Rex slings a friendly arm around your shoulders. I'm glad we talked about this, he says. There's nothing better than a girl and her dog, right? Okay, buddy. I don't want you to be my dog either. Can we just be friends? Literally no augments have ever been just chill except for our awesome eagle eyes. Yeah. Well, for some of them, it's like the kind of side effects are more just like, you know, how their augment causes them to interact with the world. Whereas this, like, actually seems like it's having multiple effects. I can't imagine growing up on the heliopause and his relationship with his peers has affected him. Yeah. Solana shutting down the pet play. Yeah, exactly. It was getting a little bit weird. You have to agree. It's awkward as hell to tell someone you don't like them that way. But you feel good about this one, and Rex seems as genuinely happy as ever. It's good to have a friend like Rex. You know, I'm not sure I feel the same way. Because of the girl and your dog thing. He just made it weird again. Like, this I genuinely accept. Like, I do think he's happy to have a friend who's just, like, platonic. But he just made it weird again. The easiest answer for why the fuck does the Heliopods hate Rex is that they're hoorah soldiers and he isn't. But also, like, it's weird that Vase keeps bringing it up. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would be surprised if it wasn't also because of this attitude that he's like, well, I guess when he was younger on the Heliopause, it was less about the sexual stuff, but he was still like very, very touchy-feely, very like affectionate, and I do think that they would find that really weird, and I do think that they would bully that. Like, he's never said anything bad about Nomi that I remember, even though they're way less useful by Heliopause standards. That is actually a really good point. That it is specifically Rex that's singled out. Or, I think the Helio kids in general probably kind of hate both of them, but Vase specifically has something specifically against Rex. Rex is a non-combatant, but Nomi is an artist, and that should be worse. Yeah, exactly. Nomi is typing away at their hollow palm, their tongues sticking out between their teeth. Sorry, I just gotta get one more line of code down, they mutter. After a few seconds, they close their hollow palm and give you a tired smile. Who knew I'd have to learn to code to write a hollow novel, right? No matter how done I think it is, there's always something else I can tweak. Huh. I guess I don't really know what constitutes a hollow novel. I assumed that it was just like, you know, an e-reader where you can just write out the text and then put it into, I guess, your hollow novel software or whatever, and it just works. But maybe they're doing some sort of like custom code. I'm gonna be real, I have wondered if Rex ever came on too strong and Base reacted because of that. For sure, I could see that. Like, in another story, I might think it might be like a homophobia thing where they see like Rex hitting on guys and they're just like, oh, ew. In this society, they seem to be more cool with that. So it might just be more Vase specifically reacting to Rex specifically hitting on him rather than a like, ew, he's hitting on guys. Also, I think the reason he said that girl and a dog thing is because it's a reference, hence it coming off a bit weird. I'm not sure what it would be a reference to. Is it like a reference to something that we've discussed before in the game? I'm not sure that matches up with the timeline, and also I don't think they'd have Rex's backstory to having crossed an actual line. Yeah, it's definitely something to think about. I think it's entirely possible that Rex was like just being Rex, and he didn't necessarily do anything too terrible, but I could definitely see Vase reacting very poorly if Rex tried to come onto him. Although, on the other hand, would Rex even do that? Does he have standards? There's a relatively famous poem / narrative thing called A Man and His Dog. Huh. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know, how famous this is, if, and especially how famous it is around this colony, but Rex does not seem like the type to make literary references. No offense to Rex. Like, every soldier is weird about Rex, apparently, so I don't think it'd be a personal beef, and you're right that this is the non-homophobic space feature, so it can't be a systemic thing. I guess we'll keep giving people stuff. I think they liked crystals, right? Okay. Who have we or haven't we talked to? Ooh, we have a thing with Tangent. Tangent is about to duck back into engineering when you approach. She winces and shields her eyes from the sun. She looks at you miserably, and you notice that her right eye is glowing faintly. Oh, did she get some kind of procedure done? It's my new hollow eye implant, Tang says. Its ghostly glow snaps in and out of existence as she blinks. I seem to be experiencing some unpleasant side effects from it, similar to that of an ocular migraine, Tang confesses. Instance warned me that this level of visual information can be difficult for the human brain to comprehend at first. You agree to follow her into engineering to get out of the sun. Also considering how you can change all aspects of your gender on a dime, the game really can't portray homophobia, yeah. Like, Nomi mentioned being worried the stratospheric might be ambiphobic. Yeah, well, I think that's because Nomi knew that that was, like, a thing in old Earth and was wondering if, if our colony was more traditional or, like, conservative in that sense. Which could suggest that non-binary people in specific have some potential discrimination in the space feature. Yeah, it seems to, like, not be a thing in the stratospheric, really. But yeah, I think they were just referencing their past media. Again, the Heliopod soldiers haven't been bringing them up, yeah. It's similar to a holopalm, she explains, still holding her forehead and squinting, but with an infinitely large screen because it projects directly into the oculus. It used to belong to Dr. Instance, but she passed it down to me to help me with my work. Well, she'll probably get used to it. Hang on, is Tang wearing Dr. Instance's old eye? Apparently! That is pretty weird. Tang sets her jaw and nods, determined. I know I will. It's only pain. Yikes, that's not a good approach to take, really. It's more than an implant, Tang continues as you follow her to the medbay labs. Hollow eyes are on the very forefront of human augmentation. They represent our next steps toward descending as a species. She touches the red scar where her hollow palm used to be. No more clunky screens, no privacy concerns, she says quietly. Elegant, integrated design. It observes the motion of my hands and uses it to generate an AR interface for my entire field of vision. It's partly powered by my own metabolism through the magnets embedded in my skull. It's beautiful. Oh boy. Nobody else is here. You hear the gentle hum of experiments running in the corner. This kind of technology is so far beyond what we're capable of reproducing in the colony. Tang sighs, rubbing her temple under the implant. Once they're gone, they're gone. Maybe Earth will send us a shipment of new ones someday. But I expect they've developed something more advanced since we left Earth. I suppose it's more likely that they've forgotten about us completely. This is how you're doing death pacts and Tang's trying to become a robot. Yep. The quiet hum of the laboratory is shattered by an alarm. Tang jumps at the sudden noise and shuts her eyes tight. I have to get this, she mutters, gesturing in the air to silence the ringing. The simulation I'm running is time-sensitive, she explains. The specimens require minute changes to their environment every 2 hours. Temperature, humidity, light levels. She grimaces. If we had better automation, this wouldn't be a problem. Huh. Empathy 41 or Reasoning 41. Huh. Well, we don't have either of those things. I guess I'll help out with the experiment. Tangent considers this. Yes, you have proven yourself trustworthy in the lab, she says. It's experiment 2A, on the wall there. She slumps down on the floor beside you, rests her head on her arms. Go tell me what you see, and I will walk you through it. With Tang's assistance, you set the new environmental parameters for her experiment, which seems to involve fungal growths of some kind. It's unfamiliar to you, but you're able to follow Tang's instructions easily. While you're looking over some of the specimens, you realize that you could make some improvements to Tang's modeling. I mean, I feel like she has a lot of pride, and she would not really like me messing with her experiment, but on the other hand, she does take science very seriously, and I think she would appreciate if I, like, had some kind of input. I feel like she'd prefer it being returned, probably, yeah. Something messing with variables. I mean, can we just, like, tell her about it instead of just doing it without her permission? Because I definitely don't want to mess with her experiment without her permission. You think better of messing with Tang's experiment. Tang breathed a sigh of relief when you returned. That should buy me 2 more hours. Tang shifts over, wordlessly inviting you to sit down beside her. Her arm is cool to the touch as it rests against yours. Tang turns to you. Thank you for your assistance. I mean, I feel like we're kind of committed to romancing Dis at this point, so maybe we shouldn't be flirting with other people. 2 choices only, I know, right? Tang gives you a slight smile, barely visible in the faint glow of her hollow eye. Then, thanks for nothing, I suppose, she says. Please don't tell Instance that my body is adjusting poorly to the hollow eye, she adds. It's only temporary. The stupid flesh prison is not allowed to draw the limits of my form. Yikes. Girl, get help. I mean, I feel like she should talk to Instance about it. Like, maybe they could adjust the hollow eye somehow so that it, like, adapts better. Maybe there's something that you could do to, like, not have to suffer through this. Sometimes there are more than 2 choices in life. Of all the potential polycules in this game, I think dating both the Intensity twins who keep disowning each other is, like, the messiest one possible. Yep, that would be pretty bad. I cannot tell if it is hubris to believe humanity will become the dominant species on Rotumna as we were on Earth. Tang muses, watching a dwarf's moth flutter by. If nothing else, it is certainly survivorship bias. The family tree of humanoid species has many dead branches, so to speak. Humans are weak, defenseless, fragile, inefficient, and short-lived, Tang says, and that is only a few of our many faults. And yet, we dominated Earth. I have to believe it is possible for us to do the same here. If you say so. Not hanging out with your boyfriend today? Well, she's apparently not really doing anything. Oh yeah, I should be giving people stuff. So far, he hasn't really appreciated anything. We've tried the log, we've tried the, I think we tried the medicinal roots. Have we tried the crystal? I feel like he would hate the crystal too, but we can try it. What the heck? Yeah, he really doesn't care about anything. I think the last thing we have left to try is the strange device. We'll see if that works. Did we talk to these guys before? Cal waves at you from the garden, then rises to his feet. It's almost comforting to see that, despite everything, he's still the same old Cal who likes to play in the mud. Hey, Solana, he calls out to you. What's going on? It might be worth doing the administration's persuasion increase option simply to see if there's any new events happening there. Yeah, that's a good point. That conversation had Vase mention Rex's gang of dickwits. Did Vase Rex feud clue somehow? Yeah, I don't know. Vase hates that Rex has game. Yeah, I guess he's just jealous. Okay. I think I might want to check out the radioactive plant. Let's do that and then keep working on our persuasion, I think. Although, what else can we work on? We should try to get our engineering perk. Organizing is actually pretty high, so we can potentially get stuff there. Yeah, I want to get engineering up at some point. Oh, this will help our organizing, too. Back in the lab, you have all the right equipment to properly examine that radioactive plant you found. Maybe you can find a way to protect yourself from them so you don't need to drag a radiation-proof envirosuit with you every time you go to that part of the planet. Are we going to be immune from radiation poisoning? Organizing is the main stat of the administration persuasion option too, yeah. Radiation poisoning isn't the killer it used to be on Earth. With medbeds, you can flush out deadly doses of radiation in a few hours. It could still make you really sick, though, and high enough doses could kill you before you're even able to reach a medbed. How confident are you that you know how to protect yourself? Hell yeah! Yeah, you've totally got a handle on this. You're an engineering wunderkind. You take all the correct precautions. You clear the area of anything that might be contaminated. You wear a radiation-proof hazsuit. You regularly check the radiation levels of the lab. And you have congruence on standby to call for help if you need it. Everything goes smoothly. You discover that the radioactive part of the plant is confined to the carpel of the flower, its reproductive organs, and that the petals act as a radioactive shield to protect the rest of the plant. You press the center of the flower. The petals close and block the radiation enough that a person can pass by without feeling sick. Neat. You should be able to use this to protect yourself the next time you encounter this plant in the wild. Huh, that's interesting. Alright, +1 to blue cards, except we don't have any. Oh, that's so annoying. We have a gem card, and we can have that too. We have this, I guess. Oh, look at that. We got the best score. Got lots of biology. We're almost fully biologied. You roll out of your bed at noon because you're allowed to, because it's your birthday. But also because you're exhausted. You barely slept at all last night. You've been having these nightmares since the siege. More and more every night. like they're trying to tell you something urgent. You can't make any sense of it. All the imagery is jumbled together. All these possibilities and timelines and things that might happen. Some nights you wake up in a cold sweat, a scream already in your throat. You sit on the edge of your bed, run a hand through your hair, and check your hollow palm. A few people wished you happy birthday, but that's all. I guess you're getting older. Birthdays aren't as important as they used to be. Right, and Mars wants to meet you for lunch in the lounge today. You'll have to practice your smile. As you enter the lounge... Surprise! You do your very best to play along and act surprised. Woo! Streamers! Balloons! Great! +3 on third stage. That's it. Is that Tammy? All of your friends are standing around, wearing goofy hats and clapping. Nomi's holding a bunch of balloons larger than they are, and Rex is wearing a cute little waiter's outfit with a bow tie. You accept their hugs and birthday wishes, trying to hide your exhaustion and demurring with a few pointed, "All this for me? You shouldn't have. No, really." Rex wanders around with a tray full of little snacks, offering them to everyone with a vampy accent and a silly, airheaded giggle. The goofball act chips away at the natural awkwardness of a surprise party. That is, the first 5 minutes after everyone shouts surprise. And soon everyone is laughing and enjoying themselves. Despite your exhaustion, you start to smile too. Your friends are so amazing, and they're all here because they care about you. Also, with our persuasion, how bad do you think we are at hiding it? Yeah. Then you get some unexpected guests. The lounge begins to fill with Helio kids, mostly ones you don't know. The ones who usually keep to themselves and, well, don't much like you original stratospheric kids. Vase and Nemi are with them, his arm draped over her shoulders. Nemi gives you a little wave of acknowledgement for your birthday, which earns a weird look from Vase. Yeah, somehow I doubt they're here for the party. I think they're here for their own get-together. Hey, who invited you guys? Cal says, stepping forward with his hands clenched. This is a private party. It's a public lounge, Vase replies. We can sit wherever we want. Cal stomps right into the middle of the Helios. You guys think that just because you fell out of the sky, you're the wormhole's gift to Vertumna, he spits out. Fight, 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 yeah. We don't need you. We never needed you. All you do is make things worse. Like this party. That is not true, actually. I think we very much did need them when they first arrived. We probably would have died without them. But, you know, apart from that, I agree with the sentiment, okay? You've rarely seen Cal so ready for a fight. Kitty, hi. Kitty, kitty, kitty. He doesn't seem to care that the body language of the Helio kids has changed from cocky to dangerous. You're just a bunch of fascists, Cal continues. You and Lum. Oh, he's out here throwing out the F word. He's really going there. Oh, damn. Friendship with Vase, dang. Cal just learned what fascism is. E.T. Okay, do we need a cat pet break? Give the cat a little pet. The lounge erupts, chairs screeching across the floor as the Helios jump to their feet, yelling at Cal, calling the colony illegal and Cal a fugitive. They jostle him around, but Cal plants his feet and stands his ground. You hear a bottle breaking and see someone advancing on Cal. He's not backing down. That is so funny, like, no, we cannot appeal to Vase for this. Oh, part of me wants the fight, but I feel like we shouldn't. I think Nemi can... I don't know if Nemi has any social influence here. Yeah, Cal was not born when the crime stuff happened. He was not a fugitive, he was a fetus. Yeah. I mean, if we want to be literal about it, he was not even conceived at the time. But regardless, like, he's not... He doesn't have anything to do with any of this. I feel like we should appeal to Nemi. You know what? Part of me kind of wants to challenge her on this and just, like, see who she sides with. Because she has been getting really chummy with these guys. I want to see if she can actually, like, stand up for Cal, who, you know, used to be her best friend. Like, I kind of feel bad putting her in that situation, but, like, girl... Nemi has pulled with their big boss man base. Loyalty test, Nemi. Yep. Loyalty test. Hey, come on, guys. Cut it out, Nemi says, tiredly. It's Solana's birthday. Don't make it a big thing. I mean, look, I don't think the birthday is the problem here. Can they, you know, not start a fight? They seem to respect her, so they back down. But not before a few parting libelous shots at Cal's parentage and alleged actions with animals. You guys need to shut the fuck up. Oh my god. She turns to Cal and pokes her finger in his chest. You provoked them on purpose, she says angrily. I'm not your friend anymore. Don't ask me to stick up for you if you're being an asshole. Oh my god. To be fair, Cal actually started it for once. They literally just existed here. That is true. Like, they just walked in. They didn't actually try to bother us. And Cal started yelling at them. So I do think he, you know, went a little bit too far. But Nemi just, like... I mean, yes, the don't ask me to stick up for you if you're being an asshole is legitimate to an extent. But breaking off their friendship over that seems excessive. Well, Mars exclaims, clapping her hands. That was enough excitement, I think. Let's move on to the important part. Cake and presents. Under Mars's skillful party-hosting hand, the mood shifts back to festive. You enjoy your presents and your cake, but tensions boiling over like that is a bad omen for the rest of the year. Yeah. To be fair, it has been like a month since Anemone gained some fresh new siege PTSD. That is true. Side note, allegations of actions with animals. Is the dog augment their problem with Rex? I don't think it was about Rex. I think it was just about the fact that he, like, works on the farm and therefore associates with animals. So they're, like, trying to accuse him of things. The siege is not helping us pull Anemone into Team Rebellion, yeah. But it could be. Maybe it is the dog thing. Oh boy. Yeah, it's an easy insult, sure. I'm just saying that if that's a generic insult, does that extend to augments that resemble animals? I don't know. Mars is brushing out her long, luxurious hair. I know it's an extravagance to have such labor-intensive hair when we technically have a war going on, she says, making a dismissive hand gesture at the word war. But honestly, if we don't remember to treat ourselves once in a while, what's the point? Besides, she says, going back to brushing, it's my duty to raise the average level of sophistication here. Let's get you a flower too. She holds the flower up to look at it. A flower. A cheap gift, but I suppose it will look good in my hair. Thank you. Okay, well, we found another thing she likes, and also... You approach Mars, who's deep in negotiations of some kind with Tangent. When Tang sees you over Mars's shoulder, she points and says your name. Thank you for some chance and chaos, Tang mutters, slipping away as Mars' attention turns to you. She's your problem now, Solana. Mars pretends not to hear her. So Lana, she exclaims, you're looking hideous today, darling. Luckily, I'm doing makeovers and fashion advice, free of charge. What's the catch? Mars smiles. No catch, she says smoothly. You just have to try on my new line of clothing and give me your honest opinion. Ooh, she's going into fashion design. You're looking hideous today, darling. These people are so normal. I know, right? What a way to start a conversation. Come with me, Mars says, directing you to her room. I've been working on these designs for weeks. They're fresh off the printer and I'm dying to see how they look on a regular person like yourself. Mars's room is a riot of sparkling fabric. My first fashion line is all about dressing for the seasons of autumna, Mars says as she ushers you inside. Yellow and angular for dust, airy and pink for pollen, stuff like that. If we ever make it back to Earth, I want to be known as the visionary who brought Vertumna home. Everyone has PTSD and they're all channeling it into their one singular obsession. Yep. I think it's a great idea. If people on Earth don't care about Vertumna, that's their problem. Mars shrugs. I know. Mars indicates the pile of outfits on her bed. Well, what are you waiting for? Chop chop. You try on outfit after outfit, letting Mars scrutinize your silhouette and bearing. She seems genuinely focused on how the clothing performs. Finally, you finish trying on all the outfits. I think the glow jumpsuit is the winner. Go ahead and put it back on, Mars instructs. Then we'll do your hair and makeup. You sit on her bed as Mars pulls out her box of cosmetics. A day look, she asks, or something more bold for nighttime. I think with a glow outfit, it should probably be something flashy. Mars smiles at you with all of her perfect teeth. A woman after my own heart. Does Mars mean that as a specific them thing, or just like future generations? Because I don't think this group is ever seeing Earth, but also that might be a huge existential thing, so I don't blame Mars for trying to believe she might one day go home. Yeah, that is interesting that she's interested in like going back to Earth. If we ever make it back to Earth, yeah, I don't know. I think she just wants to like prove something to the Earth people. That she's like... You know, that they went out to this new planet and made something of themselves. That they found something that couldn't be found on Earth. Mars does your makeup efficiently, then pulls out a bottle of bright blue nail polish. One more thing, and the look is complete. Mars paints your nails, humming tunelessly while she works. And voila, she says when she's done. That was fun. Mars smiles and caps the bottle of nail polish. And informative, I hope. Blue is definitely your color. Thank you, Mars. Mars is flipping through the most recent council minutes on her hollow palm. One perfect eyebrow arched in disbelief. Lum is a disaster, she scoffs. You wouldn't believe some of the reforms he's blocked. Oh, man. This kicks a piece of litter, sending it skittering across the barren dirt outside the colony. He hisses. Typical. Everywhere we go, it's just garbage. Humans are garbage. Well, I guess we don't really have any need to give stuff to Dis, because we're maxed out already. Yeah, shut up. I have not seen my brother in some time, Pang muses. I'm certain he lives, otherwise expeditions would have raised an alarm, but myself, personally... She shrugs and goes back to examining her experiments. I have no time to track him down and beg through penitent tears to be loved as a sister should be. If he wants to make amends, he knows where to find me. I'm not the one who's impossible to track down. Huh, what does he need to make amends for? Is there something specific that happened? I have a thought about future playthroughs. Read that delusion card. We start going child oracle on future playthroughs. Are we going to get hit with the delusions card every time we try to warn someone about the future? That's interesting, yeah. That'd be an interesting way to mechanically discourage that behavior. Huh. Yeah, I guess we'll see. What does she like again? She'd like the medicinal roots, right? And yellow flowers. So we have a lot of those, so we can keep going with that. It's definitely possible there's a specific thing Dis did. We at least heard from his end what he thinks the rift between them was, yeah. Yeah, we don't know what she thinks about the matter. Oh, huh. You can just do that whenever, I guess. Alright, well, let's go work in the depot today. I think it's more that she feels she's always been the one reining him in. The I'm not my brother's keeper thing. So amends here might mean for just causing trouble. Yeah, maybe. Actually, let's see what we got. Alright, so not really anything new. Supply depot, probably also not really anything new. I guess it might be good to have stuff on hand for if we need bonus skills. 10 to all yellow skills, that's pretty good. Also, Tang, those are not the words of a person who's super definitely emotionally cool with her brother and never ever reconciling with her, yeah. So we can have the rifle, maybe. And we can have the cool jacket, maybe. The problem is we're probably not going to know until it's too late when we need it, but, you know, sometimes we might know. And it might be good to have something on hand. Drone rifle might be worth buying simply for having a more powerful version of the plas cutter. When we need combat is usually more predictable. That is true. So it can be equipped preemptively. Yeah. Especially like during glow and stuff, we can put it on. I guess let's take it. We want 20 persuasion. That might be good to have too. Well, let's work in the depot. Get some organizing, we get some persuasion. We want more perks. We have engineering and toughness nearly ready to go. We should definitely try to get those up. And organizing. You're working with Mars when a depot order comes through your holopalm for 10 batteries for the creche. You're busy packaging up another order, so you send it over to her holopalm. Despite her constant complaining about how boring and beneath her this job is, Mars is very good at it. She finds ways to do things faster and more efficiently, and she hardly ever makes mistakes. Which is why you're surprised to find when you get the order from the nanoprinter and find 15 batteries. You check the requisition again. Wait, it says 15 batteries now? You swear it said 10 before. Mars scoops up the extra 5, giving you a wink as she hides them in her bag. I don't know, I feel like that's not okay. Like, she's literally just stealing from the store. Oh, don't be a buzzkill, Solana, she says, rolling her eyes. Even Seek skims a little off the top. Why else would they keep such a tight control over the nanoprinter? What are you gonna do? Tell Lum? She adds. If you do, Seek will be on my side. because they know I'll sell them out too. It'll be your word against both of ours. Besides, it's not even for me, she continues. It's for the SFC, which is a secret, so it's not like I can send an actual requisition for this stuff. Meaning the secret Fun Times Club? She's like stealing stuff for the club? I don't know about that. Help cook the books is wild. Oh wow, we can just steal a thing ourselves. That's ridiculous. She's still doing the secret fun club. Yeah, apparently. Is Anemone still a part of that? I don't know. Ugh. What do I do? I mean, I don't like that she's doing this, but I don't want to be a tattletale either. Yeah, the phone was overheating again. Sorry, guys. You know what? I think I just need to turn the air conditioner on regardless. It is hot in here. Ugh. Alright, that is already better. Let's see. On the one hand, Kent would say lying is always wrong. On the other, snitches do get stitches. Yeah, I don't want to be a snitch. Maybe I'll just stay quiet. Help cook the books is really funny. Ugh, fine. Fine, I guess I'll let you do your thing. That is ridiculous. I'm just letting her get away with crime here. You shake your head and get back to work. Somehow, Seek figures out that the nanoprinter logged more batteries than Aunt Anne asked for. They quiz you both, but you stand firm and keep your mouth shut. They can't prove you did it, but they still dock both your pay and give you a stern warning about stealing from the depot. By rebellion. Oh boy. Well, we have a radioactive plant. Oh, well that... I wanted a 3, but yeah, that's... Get 9s. We could get a 7, 8, 9. Like, upside, it's been shockingly hard to get rebellion. I'm kind of glad we moved the needle some there. Yeah, we've been a good girl for the most part. Where were we? Oh, pretty close to the maximum. 5 organizing. Getting close to that next perk. I think it's more that we haven't gotten caught doing rebellious stuff. Yeah, I guess so. I think this is probably a good place to end. Let's see. I was gonna try to start planning for what else we're gonna do this year, but maybe I should leave that for next time. If I start thinking too much about planning, I'm just gonna forget it next stream, and we'll have to come up with it again. We've snuck out of the colony like every possible time we could. We just don't get alignment points for it. That is true. That is true. We are pretty rebellious. We're just good at hiding it. Alright, well... Stuff is... Well, I was gonna say getting interesting, but it's been interesting, so that isn't exactly Yeah, the war is ongoing. I do think it's strange that the siege was so short. I think it just ended because glow season ended. I have to wonder about their like time limits. Because, you know, if they knew that they would have to stop the siege when the month ended, why didn't they start it earlier and just siege for like the entire month? It seems like they have some sort of restrictions on when they can act. Yeah, meeting Noctilucent was interesting. If they want to do a real siege, they've got to start right at glow, exactly. And there's the question of like, why can't they continue the siege after that? There's clearly something going on where like they have, you know, the most power during glow season or something. They can't even assassinate Love. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Things are getting interesting, and we're starting to get into like late game. I'm actually not sure if we go through, so I guess we have what, like 2 more years left? I don't think we play through age 20, right? So we play 18 and 19, and then that's it. So we're nearing the end. 19 is last year. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh boy. All right. Well, our stats are getting pretty up there. These are still low, but you know, even our mental stats are pretty decent apart from reasoning. Maybe we should work on reasoning too. I feel like we should work on reasoning. And we definitely at some point have to do some more exploring. But yeah, let's leave planning for next time, just so I don't have to rehash all of this. Anyway, thank you for coming. That will be it for tonight. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. All right, cool. Bye.